Hello, and welcome to the Author Roundup, a special segment of the Book Connection Show where we meet up and coming indie authors and talk to them about their recently released books. Hello, this is Author Roundup. My name is Jenny, and today we have a special guest, another author who just had his book recently published. He's the Regional Vice President of Asia Pacific and Japan and oversees channel business and strategy at the NASDAQ listed technology company. He may be the only person who has won three top sales awards: APAC, International, and Global Sales of the Year in the company's 25 years of history. He also received the Founder Award, which is provided to only a few people among 10,000 employees in the company a year. He's the first Japanese employee appointed to manage the Asia Pacific region in the company's history. He holds dual Master of Business Management degrees from INSEAD and Tsinghua University and has completed executive MBA programs at Tsinghua INSEAD. He has written a book in Japan, and it was awarded the Sanseido Jimbocho bestseller in March 2023 and Amazon bestseller in April 2023. Come and join us as we talk to author Tatsuya Suzuki. Hi, Tatsuya. Welcome to Author Roundup.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you for having me here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving this opportunity. I'm glad to hear to share about my book.
We're very excited to talk to you. But before I go ahead and ask you the questions about your book, would you like to share a little bit more about yourself? I'm sure everyone is interested to know more about you.
Sure. So I was born in Hokkaido and grew up in Japan. I started my first career at Japanese IT vendor. But after the dot-com bubble burst, I decided to change the job. Now that joined that current my company, which is the US-based international company. So I have been working here for over 15 years. And the first 10 years, I managed the Japan region. But my career aspiration is to be the authentic international business leader. I wanted to, try to become the leader who can manage multiple regions. Then I moved to Singapore and took the current opportunity, managing the entire Asia Pacific regions as the regional vice president. And personally, so I have two sons, the 9 years old and 7 years old, and live in Singapore today.
I see. So your book that has just been published, it's called Getting to the Core of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Strategy and Best Practices for the Corporate DE&I Across Cultures. Tell us more about your book.
Sure. So the book title suggests I wrote about diversity, equity, and inclusion. But unlike other diversity-related book, which mainly focus on what part, my book focus on why and how. For example, why the field of people cannot feel diversity improvement, even if the management side achieve, let's say, some KPIs like increasing female manager percentage. According to the research, some of the respondents said even the companies that have the over, let's say, 35% female ratio, the company that PR, but those companies that do not address the core diversity issue, that didn't create a positive DEI perception, the responder categorize those companies as the not excellent DEI company. So I wanted to address core diversity issue, explain what is the core, then how a company can transform themselves to be truly inclusive corporate culture they have. So I also introduced a couple of the methods that I learned at my executive MBA in the book.
I see. So the topic of your book is all about diversity and all that. And it is, from the studies that you have made regarding that matter. I see. But What inspired the idea for your book? What made you want to write about diversity?
So sometimes people think, people that imagine that when they hear diversity is mainly that female, the leader speak about the importance of the first female manager. Yes, that
Mhm.
I very agree with that. That is a very important business goal. However, that as I mentioned, and my career aspiration is the wanted to become the international business leader, and in order to become the authentic leader who can manage multiple regions, managing different individuals, the people that grew up different background, and the diversity, understanding diversity is critical. The so the for me the understanding diversity and improving diversity is kind of the passport that I can go abroad. So even if I can speak fluent English, but if I cannot do diversity and cannot understand what core of diversity, and I cannot go abroad. So therefore, in order to achieve my personal career goal, I invested a lot of time to study the what is the core of diversity and read a lot of papers at the executive MBA program. Then I learned management and the what ideal leadership style for managing the diversified team. Then that contributed to making high performance team that I manage
Mhm.
today. And I'm very proud of the my team, the international team that have the Indian, Chinese, Korean, female, the male, and they have the very different background, but the team, the focus the same goal, the very inspired team the I created. So I thought there are a lot of people who are also struggle to manage a diversified team and the therefore and I thought my experience, will help those people. I also want them to step up as a leader and scale up the business by managing a diversified team.
So, those strategies and all that you've said on managing diverse groups and making sure that they develop into high performing individuals, these are all included in your book.
Yes. So again that I wrote about how. So
Mhm.
after the finishing the what and why part, and I wrote about how part as well. For example, I mentioned about maximizing non-monetary incentive point. So people that always sometimes too focus on the monetary incentive, but sometimes, based on the life stage for people, non-monetary incentive side is bigger than monetary incentive. As the manager who manages the diversified team,
Mhm.
and this non-monetary part is sometimes the very different region by region. So understanding that and what the non-monetary incentive is, how to maximize it, those methods, and I wrote in the book as well.
I see. Does your book focus on a specific type of business? Like, let's say, for example, let's say production and all that, or are the tips or all the concepts that you shared in your book, are they applicable to any kind of business for that matter?
Yeah, so my business background is mainly IT industry. So there
Mhm.
that the book research the responders, 50% of responders are coming from IT background.
I see.
However, another 50%, the responders are coming from the banking industry
Mhm.
or telecom industry. And so sometimes the people think, yeah, IT industry is of course advanced for diversity. Look at Google; they have the freedom atmosphere. Of course, IT industry is very flexible, but
Mhm.
the banking and the manufacturer, those are traditional industry. I was asked the why that do you compare IT industry and the traditional industry? And
Mhm.
after I received this feedback after I launched Japanese version, and
Mhm.
then that I conducted research only limited to finance, the telecom industry, and what people have the perception that what company have the positive perception within finance industry. Then that they make apple to apple comparison. So back to your question, yes, the result I got from my research can be applicable to other industries.
Yes. So everyone would be able to relate. It's not just, applicable to just one industry alone or one type of industry alone. Okay. So I want
Yes.
to go back to what you said about the diversity and equity. And you said earlier that I'm not sure if we can call it the old concept, is that when we say diversity, they would look at it as the number of females working in the management team and all that, right? And you said it's not that. Can you expound a little bit more on that and tell us if that was the previous concept or the old concept, how much has it changed and how different is it now? Now that we're, in this, this time.
So actually, setting up the objective goal, like you said, the increasing female managers percentage to 30%, 40%.
Mhm.
This is the I think this is also important goal, and I won't deny that setting up the objective goal that is important
Yes.
for managers to pay attention for diversity. And however, the point is then the question is the why those companies who achieved this objective goal but don't have the positive perception of DEI, and why is that? And then what is the discrepancy happens? Then that let me give you one example.
Mhm.
So the some respondents answered that if the U.S. headquarters people decide everything one-sidedly, then that they feel that the very negative diversity perception. They think that they think that the headquarters decide everything and do not respect the voices from the Asia Pacific side, and they do not respect our culture. They also that they decide everything by themselves and do not disclose the process. Those are lack of transparency, contributing to creating the negative perception. So then the nowadays some excellent diversity companies, according to my research, and let's say the Google is the obvious one. Many people said Google that is the excellent diversity company. Those companies they cover these core part, not only female manager point, the the ratio improvement beyond the number. They take care that employees understanding of the diversity and provide a series of internal educations, refresher trainings, and also set up the very strict sexual harassment policies inside. These are the addressing that core issue. So compared with the 10, 20 years ago, at that time the people, the charismatic CEO only say, hey, that they focus on the female. But
Mhm.
nowadays, advanced diversity company, they're doing multiple things and cover holistic aspects.
Okay. All right. So you've said a lot about your book. I want to ask you about your experience as an author this time. How long did it take you to write this book?
Oh, how long? Yeah. So the starting point was my graduation thesis, the EMBA. My program required all students to write at least 30,000 words. They submit a graduation thesis. Then I chose DEI as topic. Then I presented to professor my cohort. Then one of the female cohort said my topic is very interesting
Mhm.
and to women, and she encouraged me, hey, say that why don't you do more research? That was starting point. Then
Mhm.
actually it took 3 years.
Oh.
So yeah, completed research and finished that thesis. Then that start writing in Japanese, launch a Japanese book. That took another 1 year. And the after launching a Japanese version, and I received the feedback. Then that and did extra research and read and another papers. Then that launched English edition. So it took 3 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, 3 years. So it all started with, your MBA thesis, right? Is that
Yes.
okay?
That
And
was
then from
starting point.
there, yeah, and from there it grew and became a book. Wow. So can you share with us Any anecdotes you may have while you were writing your book about your writing experience? How was it writing a book?
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine I would be the author 10
Mhm.
years ago. But why that I could make the one step forward is the thanks to my cohort in MBA. After finishing the program, a lot of my friends challenge the new thing. Like some people start the set up their company and do their business. Some people change the role and take more bigger responsibility. And the my female cohort they grab that opportunity. The frequently did business travel to sometime Africa. Wow, and these guys very aggressive
Mhm.
and also do challenge the without fearing something. Then that inspired me. I need to do something, and I also want to do something. Then that they decided to start writing.
So, if I ask you if you enjoyed writing the book, did you enjoy writing the book? Can you tell us about, the fun part in writing and all that?
To be honest, when I wrote Japanese version, I was a bit shy. I'm afraid that the feedback, what I will receive, I was not confident to get a good reputation. But after writing the book and wrote the book, then that even if, 1 star, the very critical, constructive feedback,
Mm-hmm.
those feedback I felt that contributed to my personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sometimes that I want to only look at positive side. However, any feedback is gift to me. So I found that contribute to my personal growth. This is the first point, the of takeaway that the becoming author. The second thing is the expressing myself
Mm-hmm.
is I think make my life rich. So I cannot sing a song and I cannot paint, but I can write. The doing artist work, express
Mm-hmm.
myself is that they truly make my life rich is the another takeaway as the author.
Mhm. That's a very positive way of looking at this experience. So, we talked about what you enjoyed or the positive things that you got out of your journey as a writer. And it's not always all fun, right? It's not always easy. So, tell us about the difficult part this time. What were your challenges as you were writing your book?
Yeah, a lot of I should say that only one part out of the 100 tough parts for writing means there are a lot of difficulties. I can introduce two stories. First is the how to get high quality data was
Mm-hmm.
one of the difficult part of the writing book because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use MCQ survey method. MCQ is a multiple choice question. It's
Mm-hmm.
a typical one, but the reason I didn't use that is because MCQ is mainly fit to the objective theme. Like it's you can say yes and no very clearly. Like, do you think gender diversity is important? Yes, no. This is a typical MCQ. But my view is the diversity or inclusion, equity things is more subjective topics.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I didn't use MCQ, decided to use perception-based research. Then that initially, I tried to use third-party survey vendor. I checked the Fiverr, the freelance, if there companies can provide those survey, but unfortunately, no company provides this kind of survey. And
Mm-hmm.
then that I was very struggle, but check that the INSEAD, the database. The great thing of the INSEAD is after graduating, INSEAD provide alumni database,
Mm-hmm.
which is excellent because I can narrow down based on the gender and based on the region, based on the background working experience. INSEAD provides this database. So I use this database, and thanks to this, and I could get high quality survey data. And this is the first point, difficulties. And second difficult point was I'm not the native English speaker. Therefore, I needed to do a proofreading over again. It's over 20 times. I need to do so. That was the, very difficult part. It took a lot of time.
Yes. So that took a lot of hard work on your part. And I do understand, the attention you gave to the data that you'll be presenting, because of course you would want the data to be accurate, you would want the data to be, complete and all that. Yes. And also when it comes to writing and rewriting stuff, I think that's something that all authors need to go through. So it's good that you did not let that deter you from, completing the book.
Yeah. Thank you.
So your book has been out for is it a month already? And it's
Yeah, it's already ready on Amazon.
yeah, and then people can already buy your book. So you must have already been receiving feedback about your book. So tell us about a feedback that had the most impact on you, and something that really touched you, or yeah, something that you really appreciated, and all that.
Yeah. So after I launched my English edition, of course, my friends they start start reading my book, and I received one interesting feedback from my female friend. And after she read, and she said, and DEI is about being, not just doing. So it's difficult to, if I only read this one sentence, it's very difficult to understand what the, point of this one sentence. But this one sentence really, explain well about what I wanted to write. Because if company invest in DEI, the employees' level of understanding of DEI get higher and they get step up, then eventually the people do not need to overprotect in some minority groups. Of course, minority groups will exist forever. They will never become the majority group. But the company who have the highly educated the DEI employee that about DEI, then those people naturally interact with a lot of the minority groups as usual. So as usual is a very difficult part sometimes. People and over worry something, overthink something for when that talk with a couple of minority groups. But eventually that if company achieve the certain DEI goal, then the people don't need to do just doing as the one that female friend gave me feedback, and that for them the DEI is about being.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been getting all of these feedback about your book. What advice can you give to someone who is just starting to write his or her first book?
Sure. So advice to give to writers working on their book would be to dig deep inside yourself, to be yourself. You don't need to follow in the footsteps of other authors. So because as I mentioned before, writing book is kind of the artist work, as if a painter. So painting style, or singing style completely different artist by artist. So if you think that the author as an artist, don't need to follow other people. So just to be yourself is my advice.
Okay. And you might be able to give them a very good advice about this, since you said that it took you around 3 years to complete everything, like the research and all that about your book. How will you keep yourself motivated to just, finish everything and publish that book that you want to publish?
Yeah, so to be honest, during 3 years, I was thinking to give up a lot of time. It's, sometimes writing over 30,000, 40,000 words in English, doing, proofreading a lot. It's really hard. But if I choose the topic I'm passionate about it, then I can keep motivate myself.
So passion about what you're writing about is really important. And I think that's going to fuel you to just finish your goal, right? Talking about goals this time, Tatsuya, what are your personal and professional goals? Let's say just for the rest of this year. What are your plans?
So I can share the two goals. So
Mhm.
of course, one of the personal goals is to step up myself by writing book. So it's a connecting dots. So what I chose the topic is exactly what I have passion and that the connect to my career aspiration to become the international leader. Then
Mhm.
and the through this writing process, I needed to research. I needed to read many papers, but all things contribute to my personal growth. Jonathan contribute to career development. So the so the first goal is to step up myself through the book. But second goal is I think there are a lot of companies, you know, they want to scale up their business and they want to go abroad, but struggling for understanding what diversity is, how to create culture that all the people but have a different background can interact professionally. So I want to support those people and company to go abroad and as I did. So this is the
I
second
s-
goal.
mhm. So all of these will be related to your goals, personal goals of, improving yourself and all that. But am I correct in my understanding that there's already a plan to have like another book? You have plans of writing another book already?
Another book I don't plan so far, so I use a lot of energy to launch my English edition. But my friends suggested they said, "Hey, Suzuki, why don't you launch a Chinese edition?" The point is, he said that this topic is becoming a big and hot
Yes.
topic in China.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonathan, he recommended making translation version, the launch in China. So maybe that if I finish ramping up English edition, and I will consider launching a Chinese version.
Wow, that's a new challenge for you, Chinese edition of your book. So, Tatsuya, before we end, what's your final message to our viewers and our listeners?
So final message, yeah. So for me, the DEI is similar to passport. So the message to everyone. So if the individuals within company and able to wrap their head around the core of what diversity stands for, it will be very difficult to move forward. So I hope that everyone can get takeaways by reading my book. And I'm looking forward to hearing feedback. So as I mentioned, any feedback I'm welcome. Also that please contact me freely. So that my profile is on the LinkedIn. That also welcome any messages, the contact through the social network.
I see. You can also invite them to purchase or get a copy of your book.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and please check in Amazon, and also, you can buy my book in some physical stores in Singapore, Malaysia, Japan. So please check it. Again, and if you read my book, it's more than happy to me.
Okay, and to add to that, like I've said, getting to the core of diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy and best practices for the corporate DE&I across cultures is available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com, and it's available as a softcover, hardcover, and an ebook to all those who would want to purchase the digital copy. Okay, so
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
Tatsuya. That was an eye-opener for everyone. It was a really interesting conversation with you. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers and listeners, thank you for joining us as well. Until the next episode of Author Roundup.